Thank you, Shon. Thank you for everyone at Icon Coaching.
Simon, congratulations, man. You know what that is?
That's winning.
It's winning, baby. I love it when you're winning. That's fantastic.
I got 2 under contract, so that's like 2.8 million in 2 weeks.
You've got to take control of your production to make sure that you're making more money, your bank account balance is rising, that your net worth is increasing, and that's what we want to see happen.
So that they can save the listing.
Which I'm really, really thankful for, Shon. Thank you.
See everyone coming on board.
Welcome to Icon Coaching's webinar.
Welcome, everybody. I trust you're doing well. I'm Shon Kokoska. I'm so grateful that you took the time away from your busy schedules to sit and work on your business instead of in your business. Now, I have a great deal of respect for your investment of time, and I don't take that lightly. In fact, I've got just a couple of goals. I want you to get as close to your sphere of influence as you possibly can. The bottom line is this: if you do your business correctly, most of your business should come through your sphere of influence. And I'm going to give you a number to aim toward. That should be 80%. Now, the way real estate works, gang, is that the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years are pretty tough years. There's no doubt about that. In fact, the attrition rate for realtors, hear this, first year, 80% of people who obtain their license are out of this industry in the first 12 months. Now, if we extend that timeline out to 5 years, 87% of agents give it up. They go out and get a quote unquote real job within a 5-year period. So if you've been in this industry for longer than 5 years, congratulations. If you've been in this industry for longer than 12 months, you made that first cut. So congratulations. Now do me a favor, everybody. I want to know where you're from. So go ahead and type in the chat real quick. Where are you located? I just want to see exactly where you're at. This is always fun for me just to get a sense of where you are tuning in from. So let's see, go ahead and type in the chat. Go ahead and move your mouse over the windows, the videos that you see there, and go ahead to the bottom. Click that little chat icon. Okay, good job. I see Columbus, Ohio, Clarkston. All right, Cherville. I've never been to Cherville. Phoenix, fantastic. Welcome, Lisa. Got 2 Lisas, different parts of the country. Gotta love that. All right, and Cindy Hedrick, way to go. In Columbus, way to go. All right, well, I know we've got a heck of a lot more people on the call other than that, but we do have some coming in, some people from Plano, from New Hampshire. All right, I love it. Love it, love it. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I want to dive right in here, you guys. I want to just quickly remind you that where you focus your time really does set your trajectory, no doubt about that. And it's not about being a yes person. It's about sometimes what you say no to. Now, let me kind of rewind the tape about 35 years. I learned a very important lesson when I was relatively new to real estate. I took a buyer at face value. They sent me a pre-approval letter saying, oh yeah, I've already met with the lender. Everything is great. I took it at face value, guys. I took them out the first weekend. Difficult buyers. I showed them probably 20 homes the first weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. I mean, I was motivated. They were motivated. Heck, they're ready, willing. Let's go. Took them out the next weekend, showed them another 10 houses. Took them out the third weekend. Narrowed it down to 3 that any one would work. It's just a matter of narrowing it down to the one that had the fewest amount of concessions. I identified it, wrote the offer. Took me 2 days to negotiate back and forth with the listing agent. Finally got the deal under contract, set, scheduled the home inspection, attended the home inspection. A couple of days after that, got a call from the lender. Hey, Shon, I am so sorry. We just found something on their credit. They cannot qualify, Shon, and I feel so bad. Really? I just gave up 3 weekends of my life. Guys, time is the only inventory you have in this industry. So I want to share with you a 3-step formula quickly, just right off the bat, that will help you avoid that misstep, help you avoid the brain damage that I've already got. Yet, here it is. It's a 3-step formula to give you success with your favorite lender. Now, I know that there's rules around steering and you can't recommend one lender over another. And of course, you're going to email them at least 3 lenders with their phone numbers, just saying, shop your rate, get the best deal. However, when you're on the phone with them, here's the goal. Let's start with the end in mind. And the end in mind is, I want a trusted source to give me the thumbs up that this person can, in fact, qualify. Somebody that I know, that I like, that I respect, somebody that has a proven track record, whether it be with me or a colleague of mine, that they come highly recommended. And what I want you to do, whether they use that lender or not, is immaterial. here's what I want you. I want you to get permission from your buyer prospect to have your favorite lender contact them, and I'll show you exactly how to do this. Again, whether they use that lender or not, immaterial. You just want somebody that you trust to give you the thumbs up that your time invested with this prospect is well spent, that it's going to end up in a commission check. So here's the 3 steps. I want you to write them down. They're super simple. Number 1, first and foremost, I never asked a buyer, are you pre-qualified or pre-approved? And you know why? Because I don't care. I really don't. I don't care if you're pre-qualified. I don't care if you're pre-approved. It's not worth the paper that it's printed on, frankly. So I'm going to start this line of questioning when I feel that the mood for acceptance is there. And I'm going to say, let me ask, are you paying cash or do you need financing? And oftentimes they'll say, well, I wish I could pay cash on. I'm going to need a mortgage. Or maybe they say something like, oh, yeah, I'm already pre-approved through Wells Fargo, Rocket Mortgage, my local credit union. If their answer has anything to do with financing, step 2 remains the same, whether they've seen a lender yet or not. So are you paying cash or do you need financing? Oh, I'm already pre-approved at Wells Fargo. I'm good to go. Hey, that's fantastic. Let me ask, would it be okay with you if I help you save money on your mortgage? Gang, that question always gets a yes response. Always. Would it be okay with you if I help you save money on your mortgage? Oh, you can do that? That'd be fantastic. Perfect. Well, I'll tell you what we should do. Let me just get your permission to have my lender give you a call. Now, I'm going to share a strategy with you. I call it the ABCs, okay? It stands for action, benefit, commitment. This is the most powerful closing strategy that I think you can engage in as a real estate agent. So you outline the action. What do you want them to do? So my action in this case is I'd like to gain your permission to have my lender give you a call. Now, the moment that you outline an action, there's a question that appears in the mind of your prospect. And that question is, what's in it for me? Why should I do that? So we immediately segue into the benefit. So let me start over. I'd like to get your permission to have my lender give you a call. Now, this lender consistently beats other lenders in our market area, both in closing costs and interest rates. And let's face it, even an 8% difference in your interest rate on a 30-year mortgage could affect your out-of-pocket by tens of thousands of dollars. So tell me, when is the best time for my lender to give you a call? Is it weekdays, weekends, or in the next 15 minutes? Gang. They say, oh, the next 15 minutes would be fantastic. Oh, perfect. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send a group text introducing you to my lender. You guys, I'm going to step out of the way, let you guys connect. I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to fill out the 1003 over the telephone with you. They're going to do a soft pull of your credit. It's not going to affect your score. Don't worry about that. Yet at the end of the call, they're going to give you a thumbs up. They're going to show you exactly what your payment is going to look like, and they're going to show you exactly how they're going to save you money on your mortgage. By the way, if they cannot save you money, feel free to use what other lender you'd like. And even if they can save you money, it's totally up to you which lender you choose. I just happen to like this person a lot, and they've saved my clients a lot of money over the years. Leave it at that. Now, here's the point I want to make. See, you should be coaching your lenders up. Okay, now hear me on this. A great lending relationship, somebody who's willing to help you, is going to cause your career to soar in real estate. If you have a bad lending relationship, you're going to struggle daily. There's no doubt about that. Yet, I'm really talking to the fact that your lender should be edifying you, and in turn, you edify your lender. This is a mutually beneficial, symbiotic relationship that when you guys work together, man, you're unstoppable. And all of us are smarter than just one of us. So get another mind in the mix. All right. Next, when you give them a lead, it is your lender's job, and you've got to coach them to this. Some lenders just get it right away, yet you've got to coach them up. In fact, I learned about a 4D approach. I'm going to share it with you today. The 4D approach is really simple. It stands for, I'm going to stop this share just so I can see you guys a little bit better. Well, the share went away on me. Doggone it. Oh, well, we're stuck on screen share, guys. I apologize for that. That's my fault. Actually, no, I can do it. There it goes. All right. That's the screen share. Now we're going to stop the screen share. That's what the issue was. Got it. All right, guys. First time doing a Zoom. You know how it is. It's kind of challenging. So nevertheless, we're talking about success with your lender. And I want you to coach your lender up. I reached out to my favorite lender when I heard about the 4D approach, and I asked them this. I said, listen, I want to give you the opportunity to earn the business of every buyer prospect that we identify, and we've got a lead generation machine here. Yeah, you've got to earn that right, quite honestly. So I didn't make any apologies about it. I just said, this is how it's going to be. I was going to set expectations, man. And so my favorite lender, his name was Steve. He said, well, Shon, I'd love the opportunity to do that. What do I have to do? He said, well, first and foremost, you got to follow up with all of my buyer leads until they buy or die. Can you do that for me? And he said, Shon, that's my job. Of course. See, a lot of lenders get it, right? Next, I said, you've got to use the scripts that I provide to you. He said, okay, sure. Give them to me. And if I agree with them, I'll be happy to use them. Yet, are you open to kind of reworking them if we need to? And I said, yeah, absolutely. Well, the first script is the most important. And here you go. So here's what the script said. Hi, this is Steve with XYZ Mortgage Company, and Shon Kokoska asked me to give you a call. And before we begin, I just want to take a moment and commend you on your selection of a realtor. You know what? Shon is by far the best realtor I've ever come across. I've been doing this for 32 years. How'd you get in touch with Shon? See, they make the call all about you. It greases the skids, you guys. They sell you in advance of you even meeting this person face to face in a lot of cases. Now, and vice versa, you're edifying your lender. So you're helping them do more business. They're helping you do more business. By the way, you're referring people all the time, aren't you? You're referring CPAs, financial planners, insurance agents, lenders, title reps, attorneys. Let me ask, are they reciprocating? Are they giving you leads back? If not, I just encourage you to create that space to have a conversation. I want you to track the leads that you're giving to them. Listen, I've given you 14 leads over the last 12 months, and I just checked how many leads you've sent me, and sadly, it's a goose egg. Now, we're either going to do something about it, and we're going to do it this month, or I'm going to find a different lender that I want to work with. Now, I kind of let the 4D approach out of the bag, so let me unpack that just real quick. Anytime you think of doing something, and I mean anything, you guys, here's what I want you to do. Go through 4 questions first. They happen to start with D, the letter D. So think about doing something in a stack of papers on your desk. I'm going to pick up this paper. I'm going to do something with it before you take action. Here's what I want you to do. Ask yourself, can I ditch it? Does that even need to be done at all? You guys, there are so many things that we just fall victim to because this is the way I was trained to do it. We put on the blinders, man. We're just not looking left or right. We just head down focus and get it done the same way every time. Case in point, as a buyer's agent on a team, I approached my mom and I said, listen, let's start a real estate sales team together. And she was much smarter than I was. She said, Dad, Shon, I'm going to work the listing side of the business and you're going to work the buyer side of the business. We're going to be a 1-2 punch, man. It's going to be awesome. And I said, absolutely. I'm all excited. And I did not realize that buyers take on average about 6 hours longer to close of my personal time than say a listing would. Yet at the same time, I focused on systems, efficiencies, leverage, delegation, and things of that nature to close over 100 buyer side transactions per year, making over $100,000 a month as a 20-something-year-old kid. Guys, if I can do it, I promise you, you can do it. And I just want to show you exactly what we did, what I did to make that happen. So the 4D approach is part of that equation. So can I ditch it? I looked at my schedule. I was looking for my time blocks. I was attending personally all of my home inspections. Now, I was closing over 100 buyers a year. Guys, let's just round it down to 100 home inspections. There's more than that. But the average home inspection takes about 2 hours to complete. About 3 hours, including drive time in many cases. So let's use the number 3. And let's multiply that by 100. That's 300 hours. Now divide that by a 40-hour work week and you'll get to my point, right? That's 7.5 weeks of a 40-hour work week, Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, every day doing home inspection. For 7.5 weeks? Are you kidding? No, I'm going to ditch that. Not the highest and best use of my time. Now, I'm not suggesting that you don't attend your home inspections. If that's your model, if that's your system, then do it. It's a great way to get referral business and deepen relationships and everything else. At the same time, I was of the opinion that it's not the highest and best use of my time, that I want to focus more on dollar productive time. See, I had the mindset that if the furnace is broken, guys, the darn furnace is broken. I'm not going to strap on a tool belt and fix the thing. I don't know how, and I don't want to know how, okay? I just want to be in a position that I can just write somebody a check to take care of that stuff for me if I can. Now, you might have the same mindset. And if you do, just recognize that, see, I reached out to my counsel and said, is there some unwritten rule, something in the code of ethics that I haven't been exposed to yet that says I personally have to attend all of my home inspections? Well, my attorney said, well, no, there's nothing in the code of ethics. There's no unwritten rule or law. Shon, in fact, when you attend a home inspection, if you give the buyer advice and that advice is wrong, man, you've just opened yourself and your company, your brokerage to liability that is unnecessary. So He gave me the advice that if I don't have to be physically present, then don't. See, it's my job to negotiate the inspection, repairs, make sure my buyers are taken care of. So I was able to, through education with the listing agents, with the buyers, I'd never attended another home inspection, and I got 7.5 weeks of my life back. Heck, go take a vacation or reallocate that time to the 20% effort, the dollar productive work to increase production. So I chose the latter route and went out to make a heck of a lot more money, just increasing efficiency. So that's D number one. Can you ditch it? Number two, can you delegate it? Who can do that for you? The lender example is a great example. By asking your lender to follow up with every one of your buyers until they buy or die, you are literally doubling up, sometimes even quadrupling up your lead follow-up efforts, depending on if your lender has a staff that they can leverage through. The third D, can I do it later? Do I have a time block specifically for that task to where I can bunch a whole bunch of things together for that time block for massive efficiency? Now, if you do not have a time block for that task, either open up your calendar, set up a time block, set it aside and say, I'm going to do it later. Don't just set it aside and say, I'll do it later. Otherwise, it turns into procrastination, and that's the killer of all big dreams. So, can I ditch it? No, it needs to be done. Okay, can I delegate it? Shoot, nobody else has the knowledge, the skill set. I haven't taken the time to train anybody, so guess I'm going to have to do it. Can I do it later? Oh, I got a time block to do that on Thursday. I'll set that aside. I'm going to do it on Thursday, make myself a note for massive efficiency. Or I don't have a time block. This is somewhat urgent. I'm going to do it now. See, that's the final option. The last resort. Don't be like the agent who wants to do everything right now, right? They end up with 15 projects working simultaneously. Their focus is far too diluted. They're not accomplishing anything. In fact, they mistake movement for achievement. Guys, I want you to write that down. Don't mistake movement for achievement. We've all experienced the phenomenon of showing up to work early, man, and you're just firing on all cylinders. You're just busy all day. You finish the day late, 7, 8 o'clock at night. You look back upon the day and say, I know I was busy. Did I make any money? And if the answer is no, guys, that is a short road to burnout. I promise you. That's why that number 87% is so darn high. First 5 years in real estate, 80% the first 12 months in real estate. The cool thing about pre-licensing is you learn how to pass a test. Heck, you probably learned exactly how many square feet were in an acre. And many of you, like me, I learned that information 35 years ago, and I think it's 42,560, but I think I'm wrong. I don't remember. And guess what? I've never had to actually use the number since I got a license with over 4,000 transactions. They taught me to pass a test. They didn't teach me a darn thing about selling real estate. Yet over the last 35 years, I figured out a thing or two. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So I'm going to go to share my screen. And here we go. So I want to talk a little bit about Pareto's principle and how it applies to each and every one of you. Pareto was an Italian economist. I mean, he's studying the economics of Italy, and he recognized that 80% of the currency, the wealth, the money was controlled by just 20% of the population. Then he looked at real estate. He looked at who owns the land. Well, guess what? 80% of land was controlled by just 20% of the population. And guys, if you look up, if you pay attention, the 80-20 rule, the Pareto's principle, to me, it's as true as the law of gravity. You understand? Here's how it applies to you. 20% of your actions in real estate sale yield 80% of your results. Sadly, though, I see a lot of agents just burning through their days, spinning their wheels, mistaking movement for achievement by giving most of their time to the 80% job description. Now, please hear me on this. The 80% work, incredibly important work. In fact, if it doesn't get done, you might end up in a lawsuit. Yet the bottom line is this: the 80% work is not dollar productive work and should be leveraged through a person of talent. I'm talking about a transaction coordinator. It can be outsourced at first. In fact, it's a predicated fee. You do not pay the fee unless the deal closes, and it's usually between $250 and $500 per transaction, depending on their level of service. So I would definitely leverage that aspect off whenever possible. Now, the challenge with outsourcing transaction coordination is that that's the only thing they're going to do for you. They're not going to help you plan your next customer appreciation event or put together your email campaign or your automations or help you provide an instant response to every lead that comes in the front door. That doesn't happen until you get to 3 to 5 transactions per month consistently. Then you're going to hire that person in-house, recognizing that they're probably only doing TC work for you maybe 2 to 3 hours a day. And you're going to leverage them the rest of the time to help you build additional communication campaigns, manage your email inbox, your calendar, manage your social media posts and comments, and likes and shares, and just hand you the opportunities that come out of social. So the goal, though, is once you hire this person, whether you're leveraging off through delegation to an outsourced partner or you're hiring somebody in-house, you can't just give them the job and then just go, I don't know, go golfing, play tennis, and eat bonbons all day. Okay. You've got to actually sit down and do the 20% work. So let's talk about that job description just for a moment. It's just 5 things. Number 1 is practice. Gang, you got to know what to say and how to say it with mere words in real estate sales. You can make over $1 million a year selling real estate. That's fun. That's really fun. Compare that to what, say, a doctor has to go through before they actually can start working on live people. Heck, you got to play around with dead people for 8 years before you get a live one, right? That doesn't sound like much fun to me. A lot of effort, a lot of capital risk, and hoping that your career is positive, right? So with that said, practice. Lead follow-up. I'm going to put that as the second priority. Okay, I put lead follow-up as second priority because they've already raised their hand. They've self-identified. Maybe you were doing outbound prospecting and you got a lead. Well, now you got to nurture that lead. You got to position yourself in their mind. We're going to talk about positioning today, by the way, and the appropriate way to attract business through your sphere of influence. We're definitely talking about that today. So with all that said, practice, lead, follow up, lead generation. Okay, those are the first 3 are AM tasks that lead you right into your PM tasks, which is going on appointments, negotiating contracts. Those are the only 5 things that are going to move the needle for your bank account balance. Practice, lead follow up, lead generation, going on appointments, negotiating contracts. Given an inordinate amount of your time to those 5 things, guys, you will double, triple, even quadruple your production year over year over year. So, by the way, as you look at your database, I want you to segment that. Now, what we train people to do, and in fact, we do it for them in our Built program. Now, Built is a standalone, it's not a training program, it's not a coaching program, it's an installation program. I partnered with a guy named Dan Stewart, the founder of Happy Grasshopper, who has, over the last 15 years, been managing 28 million relationships for over 12,000 real estate agents that are his clients. So he's got this feedback loop that he set up 15 years ago. He knows exactly what messaging lands, what works, what's going to get you the leads, what's going to get you the deals. Now, of course, we've got to segment your database because you certainly don't want to send some generic asking for business email to, oh, I don't know, your grandmother, or maybe it's a lead that came in and you're talking about a customer appreciation event, and maybe you don't want to just send a customer appreciation event email to a lead that you came in this morning. The bottom line is, if and when, we just got to do the right things at the right time in the right order to get the results that we want. So we're going to talk a lot about communication today. I just want to make sure that you are crystal clear on what you should be doing day in and day out, given an inordinate amount of time to the 20% effort. Now, I collaborated with Gary Keller and Jay Papasan in the writing of the book, The One Thing. Now, the one thing, it's all about how to wring it out of yourself, meaning how do you get the most out of yourself in the hours that you choose to invest in your work life? At the core of the book is this humble little question that you see up on your screen. This is what we call the focusing question. I ask myself this question probably 50 times a day, and that's no exaggeration. I encourage you to do the same thing. What is the one? So, by the way, you're looking at a list of 25 things you could do. By applying the question, you'll identify what you should do. That is, out of these 25 things, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? So I got 25 things. I'm going to narrow it down to just one thing rather quickly. But let's say you did have 25 things. If you just simply applied Pareto's principle, 20% of 25 things, well, that's 5 things. That's a good start. I don't think Pareto's enough. Let's go extreme Pareto, because 20% of 5 things, well, that's one thing. See, a lot of people work to-do lists, don't do it. Now, certainly write down everything that needs to be done. That's the point. But don't follow your to-do list. Hear me on this. See, to-do lists are really long, I want you to work a success list on the other hand. So yeah, go ahead and document everything that needs to be done and then begin applying Pareto's principle to find the priority of the moment. See, here's the challenge and why I tell you not to work a to-do list. This is solid thinking, and I think it's going to resonate. When I get my to-do list put together, well, my mind wants that endorphin release, the payoff that I get from crossing something off my list. You guys with me, right? Feels good, doesn't it? And yet, here's what we do just psychologically as human beings. We look at our list and we tackle the easiest thing on the list first. Guys, the easiest thing on your list is not the one thing that's going to move the needle for your production. The easiest thing on the list is a distraction in 99% of the cases, and yet we justify, oh, it'll only take me 10 minutes. Let me just knock that out real quick. So you do it. Did it do anything good? No, it's a thing that you check off the list. Of course, you got the endorphin release. You felt busy, but it's not about busyness. It's about business. So I want you to focus most of your time into practice, lead follow-up, lead gen, going on appointments, negotiating contracts. All right. Now, to-do lists. Tackling the easiest thing first. Sure, you get the payoff, the release of endorphins. You don't get the traction. So go Pareto, then go extreme Pareto. Your answer is probably the most difficult task of your workday in most cases. And it's usually something like calling 5 for sale by owners today, or calling 10 expired listings, or reaching out to my sphere of influence. Do that when your willpower is as high as it's going to get. See, our willpower is just like the battery life in our cell phone. Once it's depleted, we go back to our default setting. And for most of us, it's procrastination. It's default setting. I'll just do it tomorrow. This is why, let's say you want to go on a diet, you want to shed 10 pounds. Well, you have an exceptionally hard day at work and you come home and you open the pantry, you'll shove anything in your mouth you see because your willpower is depleted. So do your lead gen first thing in the morning. I want to get into the psychology of top of mind dominance, okay? Now, meaning when your prospects, when your sphere of influence, specifically, when they think real estate, they should think you. Now, in order to make that a reality, we must communicate with them systematically. See, this always has been, it is today, and it always will be a relationship-driven business. By the way, type in the chat, do you agree with me? Just type a yes real quick. Do you agree that this has always been and always will be a relationship-driven business for the most part? I mean, certainly when you get into some commercial deals and you're talking investing strategy and things like that, it can be about the relationship. Usually it's about the money. I get that. Yet on the residential side of the fence, yeah, and I see the yeses coming in. You guys, thank you for validating that. And because it's a relationship business, then where does the relationship live? And please don't say your CRM. Where does the relationship live? Think about this. I will tell you that the relationship, in my opinion, it lives in the conversation. And yet I want to introduce you to somebody who's stopping you from growth. Okay. They showed up to the webinar today, even though you didn't want them to. It's Mick. Mick is an acronym. It's my inner cynic. And man, we all have one, don't we? It's that internal dialogue I'm talking about. It's that dialogue that says, oh, don't call your past clients. You're just bothering them. Why are you being so damn judgmental? Seriously. Shouldn't it be up to them whether or not you're bothering them? Think about this. Oh, I don't want to call my past clients because, man, they just want to talk my ear off. I don't want to have a 20-minute conversation. They want to talk to you because they like you. They like you. And because they like you, when you are consistent with your communication and you're sending the right messaging, not a messaging that burns them, but the right messaging, then you will be front of mind always. Always. Now, here's the thing. Let's just say you and I are good friends. You're part of my sphere of influence and I'm a real estate agent and I send you a generic email that I just sent to every single person in my database. I didn't care if it was to a vendor, a lead, a past customer, somebody in my sphere of influence. Heck, it could be an old expired that got into my database. But I sent everybody the same generic email just to check the box to say, yep, I was consistent. I sent my email, done. Why aren't the referrals showing up? See, let's say you and I are good friends. And I got one of your emails and it was just some generic junky email that I immediately want to delete. Well, the first time I got the email from you because we're friends, man, I'm excited. I just got an email from John. Let me open it up. Let me see what John, oh, it's just some generic email. Yeah, he's a realtor and he's just fishing for business. Delete. block, spam, you burned the relationship. You get it. You missed your opportunity now to really deepen that relationship. See, a lot of you are sending out things like e-newsletters. Let's talk a little bit about this. And by the way, I love this quote at the bottom. Referrals don't go to the best agent. They go to the most cognitively available agent in the moment of need. Think about this. Top of mind is where it's at. So how the brain actually chooses. Let's get into this real quick. Number one, familiar equals chosen. Okay, the brain doesn't research 100 agents just immediately like that fast. No, it's going to go with the most familiar agent, the most familiar name. So familiar equals safer, safer equals chosen, and that's what we want to see. Next point, recency bias controls memory. Well, if you heard from this, if they heard from you this month, you exist. 6 months ago, you're invisible. Nothing recently, no recall. Now, the built system that we've developed, it solves that issue altogether. I got a typo there. I apologize for that. Point number three, availability, heuristic. Well, the brain assumes easiest to recall equals most trusted. If the name surfaces instantly, you win. If there's hesitancy, well, you lose. You lose the battle. All right. Repetition creates authority. Really? Is that true? I don't know about that. See, if I'm sending an e-newsletter and it's chock full of all the information, the state of the union, the state of the real estate market, and you're getting all the average list price to sales price ratio, average days on market, average price per square foot, what was the appreciation over the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, the last 2 years, last 10 years, what are the interest rates doing today? What is your opinion of speculation? Oh, I put in a little video too to give you a little bit more information. Boom, I sent it out. You get that? You read it. If you read it, you're full. What's the point in reaching out to Shon? Because I just gave you all the information. See, that's informative. It's not persuasive. It's not going to engage them to do anything. So read the words beneath. Repetition creates authority. See, consistency signals competence. Do you have a system? Do you have an automation that you've taken the time to build? Now, I heard a quote that literally changed the way that I wanted to approach this industry, this business. The quote was from Einstein. He said, "Everyone is a genius in their own right, yet if you judge a fish based on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its life thinking it's inadequate." Guys, I recognize that being a real estate agent is fun and it can be really kind of glamorous, especially when you've got a bunch of clients that you're working with. See, one thing I know for sure is that every agent on this webinar is really good with a buyer, seller, and investor. If they're calling you or once you're face to face with them, you guys are awesome. It's like the fish in water. Yet asking an agent, because trust me, I've coached agents for almost 3 decades now, training them on how to install their touch campaigns, their automations to really segment their databases and communicate with maybe their vendors differently than they do their past clients, their sphere of influence differently than they do their leads, right? Yet asking them to build those automations to segment their list, to tag every contact in their CRM, guys, that's like asking a fish to climb a tree. I get it. I do. I totally get it because we tend to gravitate toward our an industry that matches our dominant behavior style. Now, most agents, and there's no research around this, there's no factual data to back this up. I'm just going to guess that about 80% of real estate agents are I-type behavior if you subscribe to the DISC methodology. So there's D, I, S, or C. I'd guess 80% of realtors are I-type behavior, meaning influential, they're very creative, very, very socially driven. And because of that creativity, their ability to connect, they're the natural born salesperson, the life of the party. Well, because that is their dominant strength, their greatest strengths can become our greatest weaknesses. Most I types that I know really can't stand the paperwork aspect of it. To sit down and have to focus for hours on end, it's not going to happen. And I get it. I totally get it. So with that said, Built was built for you if that's you. I mean, we literally do it for you. We organize your data. We scrub it, we dedupe it, with our AI bot through CRM Rehab, we clean that data, we flesh the data. Like, for example, some of you might have a few contacts in your cell phone that say something like John and a phone number. No real relevance, no context to who John is. Is he a past client? Is he sphere of influence? Is he a vendor? Is he a lead? How do we know? Well, by engaging with CRM Rehab, we're going to download all the contacts from your cell phone. We're going to download all your social media connections. We're going to get into your MLS, download all the contacts from your CRM. We're going to segment them into, and all your leads lists, by the way. If you have ever paid for a lead through Zillow, Realtor.com, Realty.com, Ylopo, Street Text, any one of them, we're going to be able to extract all of those leads from their platform. We're going to organize a CSV file. We're going to dedupe the list. Then our AI bot goes to work. Now, hear this. That John with a phone number in your cell phone, it's going to go scrape the web. Guys, if it's ever been published anywhere with that phone number, we're going to come back with John's last name, his mailing address, his email addresses, his social media handles, and our AI bot is going to read the email exchanges between you and John, and they're going to realize that maybe this is sphere of influence or a past client, or maybe there's no emails. That's okay. We get into your MLS. Maybe it's a search that you saved for that prospect in MLS. Our AI bot connects the dots and says, oh, this is a lead. They were entered on October 1st of 2017. They've been getting emails. This is a lead. We go and tag them as a lead, and we segment it into that bucket of your CRM. Or maybe you've got somebody in your phone and it gets into your MLS and says, oh, that person actually closed on a transaction 4 years ago on February 13th, and they tag it as past client. So if you've ever wanted your CRM organized, that big pile of dirty dishes in the sink, we can knock that out for you in a relatively short period of time. In fact, I would make a statement to say we could have your entire database cleaned, scrubbed, fleshed out, and segmented inside of 5 days for you, and you don't have to do a darn thing with it other than get on a call with one of my staff members who's going to ask you to share your screen on a Zoom meeting, and they're going to point you click by click, step by step, how to download the contacts from your cell phone, how to download your contacts from LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, X, how to get into your lead generation platforms, extract the leads, how to tie our AI bot into your MLS, how to pull all contacts from your email inboxes as well. So guys, if you're interested in that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to type into the chat real quick. In fact, Dave, could you do that for me? Dave, just type into the chat my direct cell phone number, or better yet, why don't you give them that scheduling link to where they can set a call with me for just 10 minutes. All right. And by the way, we don't have to take all 10 minutes, but I'd love to help you if I can, you guys. We're not going to talk about what it might look like to work with me one-on-one. That is off the table. We're not talking about that. We're going to talk about what the most important thing, that's you, your data, and how we can get it cleaned and scrubbed. That's it. All right. So with that said, it allows you to send the right message to the right person at the right time when you've got a handle on the data. So everything starts there. It all starts with list building. Then it's about list segmentation, tagging appropriately, and communicating with them in a way that's appropriate to that type of lead. All right. So what Dan Stewart and I recommend is 41 touch campaign. Now, we came up with a 33 touch campaign back in the day with Gary Keller, Jay Papazan. We analyzed all the millionaire real estate agents, and we looked that they were communicating with their SOI on average about 33 times a year. So we came up with a 33 touch campaign, and man, we went crazy telling all the Keller Williams agents you need to install a 36 touch campaign. Now, recent research, though, suggests that 33 touches is not enough. In fact, 41 touches seems to be the magic number. You might prefer fewer. You might even want a heck of a lot more. I coach a guy who touches a sphere of influence more than 90 times a year, but it's multiple touches for events that he plans. So he'll get 6, 7 touches in advertising, promoting one event. Then they show up to the event. There's another touch. Then they have their post-event campaign. There's another couple of touches. So he's up, 90, 95 touches per year, yet he's also the number one team in all of New England, by the way. His name is Todd Denman, DDG. Check it out if you can. Okay, 41 touches is what we came up with. But 33 touches was really literally before direct messages on social. It was before text messages. And we also recognize that the frequency of email should be every 3 weeks instead of every 30 days. I think that makes more sense. All right. So let's talk about inform versus engage. Like an e-newsletter, market updates. It's informative. It's fantastic. Does it position you? Not so much. All right. Rate sheets. Again, give them the information. They don't need you anymore. Rather, I'd much rather see, let's just talk about the engaging side. I don't want to talk about the negative stuff. The engaging part, rather than an e-newsletter, it would be something like a text message saying, I just learned something about the Denver real estate market that's going to make your jaw hit the floor. Do you have 5 minutes for a quick conversation? Guys, that is the type of communication I'm going to encourage you to make. In the Built program, again, it's not a training program or coaching program, even though there's a lot of training and coaching that goes along with it. It's an installation and deployment program where you plug in and you have a fully referral engine just built and humming along and firing on all 8 cylinders. Okay. So engaging communication, whether it's by phone, by text, DM, email, it gets a reply. Now, how do we know this? Well, we've got 15 years of send and reply data that we have analyzed to the moon and back, you guys. 42 million relationships. Yeah, just this morning, Dan Stewart sent me a text that he received from one of the clients of the Built program saying that they just took a $10 million listing and they would have never taken it had they not sent the message that our system helped them create. So, guys, that just warms my heart, makes me feel good. And I want to see each and every one of you winning in a powerful way. So, I want to talk a little bit about the power of micro positioning. It's just small, repeated identity signals embedded in every conversation, every point of communication, every email, every DM, every text message or phone call. It should be conveying things like this. Now, I ask the question here. If I were to buy, sell, or invest in your market area, why would I call you to represent me? Is there anybody on the Zoom meeting that can just unmute yourself and give me a really succinct answer right now? What is Mick saying to you right now? You remember my inner cynic, that internal dialogue? I want to volunteer. What does Mick say? Don't you dare open your mouth. You might look stupid. See, Mick's job is to keep you comfortable. You guys get this, right? Don't risk your ego, Mick says. Yet I'm here to tell you that the more you risk your ego, the bigger your bank account balance gets. Give up the need to look good, please. Just do what you need to do to obtain what you choose to obtain. What is stopping you? See, sometimes you just have to get out of your own darn way and let your life be big. No doubt about that. So, all of these points of communication should convey that you are active, that you are knowledgeable, you protect equity, that you guide people safely, that you run a referral-based business. So let's talk about structure, extraction prompt. Here's what I want to do. I want to help each and every one of you really narrow in on your unique value proposition. Now, I see some of you are mobile in a car. This is going to be challenging for you unless you really know how to use Zoom on a mobile. But I want you to go to the notes section because I'm gonna put this prompt into the notes. And what I want you guys to do, and I'm just going to demonstrate here real quick. I want you to copy this prompt. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the notes right now. Okay, so just grab that entire note that I just posted to the chat. Just copy that and then just follow along with me. I'm just going to go ahead and show you on my screen. Let's go ahead and just open up Chrome here real quick. And let's go to ChatGPT. Let me do this. Just going to open up a fresh chat. Let's do that. Oh, by the way, this little lasso up here that's a dotted line. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you check that, the chat does not track what it is that you type in. So if it's something that's just like something you don't want to reference again, like, hey, what time is the movie playing at the Cinemark tonight? You don't want to save that chat. You don't want that to be in the history. Well, just click that little button there, and then it's not going to show up. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and post or paste in that prompt. And there's some questions down here that I'm going to go ahead and answer, okay? So first and foremost, market area that I service. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my hometown of Austin, Texas. Niche, I'm going to say luxury and waterfront. Years in business. I've been doing this for coming up on, believe it or not, guys, 35 years. Yes, I started when I was 2. Average clients per year. Let's just say I'm doing 20 transactions per year. Key strengths. All right, well, let's see. I'm going to brag on myself a little bit here. I'm knowledgeable, energetic. What else? Let's see. I'm a great negotiator. Selfless. We do whatever it takes. Okay, I think that's probably good enough, at least for our exercise. What clients say about me? Kind, bend over backward. Great communicator. Okay, specific results that I produced. Now, I want you to embellish here a little bit. Yet, negotiations with first-time buyers to hit and I'll just leave it at that for the sake of time. Unique processes, systems, or offers. If I don't sell your house, I'll buy it. Maybe that's one of my offers, or cash offer to sellers. Background. I'm not going to do much here. Type of clients I enjoy most. Luxury waterfront. Frustrates me about working with other agents, lack of integrity. Just want permission. Okay, so you guys want to see what chat comes back with? Let's see. This is a fun exercise. It's going to help you get clarity around your unique value proposition. And I've got to figure out why I'm getting some lines on my screen there. I think I accidentally hit the notate tool. All right, let's check this out. By the way, you see how direct my chat is? If you guys want your chat GPT to speak with you very directly, just text me. I'll go ahead and put my cell phone number in here. I'm going to send you back a prompt that you can put into the settings of your chat that it makes your chat be really direct with you. So if it drives you crazy with all the pleasantries like, oh, that's a wonderful idea, Shon, you're really going to do quite well with that. I can't stand it. I just want directness. Okay. That's how I prefer to be communicated with. All right. So here we go. You remove risk. So here's a quote. If I don't sell it, I'll buy it. It's not a gimmick. It's a category weapon. Okay. Getting first-time buyers under contract, multiple offers, negotiating edge, not just experience. You operate with long-term credibility. 35 years isn't tenure. It's pattern recognition and pricing accuracy most agents don't have. By going through this exercise, guys, you're going to be able to extract parts and pieces of what chat comes back with to really refine your unique value proposition. So here's a one-sentence UVP. I help Austin luxury and waterfront clients win with certainty, backing every listing with a guaranteed sale and every negotiation with 35 years of market leverage. That sounds pretty damn good, doesn't it? So when that seller says, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house, why should I use you, Shon? Well, I help Austin luxury and waterfront clients win with certainty, backing every listing with a guaranteed sale and every negotiation with a 35 years market leverage. How does that sound to you? Sounds pretty darn good. So it brings back multiple different options for you guys to play around with. I just encourage you to invest a little bit of time, find clarity around your unique value proposition. It's going to make a huge difference in the results, no doubt about that. Go back to slideshow. And I'm going to wrap up here in just a couple of minutes. So the reason 41 touches. See, I think one touch, might as well just not do it at all, right? Growing perception, that's 10 touches per year. 25, that's more than one a month. That's going to give you authority. Yet if you want to embed identity, 41 touches is going to get you there. So asking for a referral business. There's got to be a compelling reason why you're going to ask. So I'm going to give you a script that is actually asking for referrals. It's a competition. Meaning I'm going to call you and let's see, Randolph, I'm going to use you as an example because I can see you, brother. Okay. So you're my friend. You're in my sphere of influence. We go back 10 years. You're going to get a call from me. You're not a realtor. I am. So I'm going to call you up and say, hey, Randolph, it's Shon Kokoska. Hey, bud, do you have just 2 minutes? Today's call's about business. I just need some help real quick. Can you help me out?
Sure, Shon. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Randolph, thank you so much for taking my call and taking the time. I'm going to be brief. Listen, I'm taking a great class that's helping me with my real estate practice. In fact, I want to help as many families complete their real estate goals this year as I humanly can. And this great class, the instructor has told me that we're entering a fun and friendly competition, and I need to get at least 10 referrals in the next month in order to win, Randolph. And I'm hoping you can help me. Who do you know, maybe from church or from work, maybe your social circles or gym, that's thinking about buying a house, selling a house, or investing in real estate that I could call today?
Well, I have a few people I can think of right now. How would you like to get that information?
Dude, you're awesome. I'll tell you what, I don't want them to end up with a weak agent and a weak moment. So if you could please do them a favor, and me too, just text me their contact information. Now, my question is, do you want me to use your name when I contact them, or do you want me to keep that on the down low?
No, you can use my name. It's totally fine. I'll also let them know that I have referred you or I spoke with you about it. And additionally, maybe I can just create a group conversation in group text.
Dude,
Just send them your
that
information.
that is perfect. And Randolph, you are very quickly becoming my favorite person right now. Yes, please send that text. Let's send a group text. And buddy, I promise I'm going to make you look like an absolute rock star. They're going to call you and thank you for sending me their direction. I intend to do a great job. Thank you so much, Randolph. By the way,
Hey,
is
appreciate
there
it, Sean.
anything that I can do or my team can do for you right now that would make your life a little bit better?
Right now, I'm good, but if I can think of anything, I'll reach out to you right away.
You are the best. Thank you so much. So, how did that feel to you, Randolph? Did it feel needy, like I was just begging for business, like I don't have anything going on and dude, I suck? Did it feel like that to you?
No, it was just a genuine conversation. That's why I said, hey, instead, let's make it easy. Instead of you trying to, talk to them and they may not want to talk to you, I'll just make it a group text.
I love it. That is so good. So I'm going to give you guys some phrases here real quick. The reason we don't want to consistently ask for referrals, let's face it, our databases get worn thin quickly if we're just constantly asking for business, right? Before you know it, they're ghosting you, never returning your texts or your phone calls, all right? So I'm going to skip through this just for the sake of time. Yet here's some of the phraseology, the vernacular that I want you to begin to adopt, okay? And it takes time, it takes practice to actually get those neural pathways to form. Yet here's some phrases. Like, most of my business comes from referrals from people I care about. I love real estate. And it's just subtle little gestures, right? Little mention. I've been fortunate. My clients send me great people. If someone you care about needs guidance, I'll take great care of them. And I promise you that. In fact, they're going to call and thank you because I intend to do such a great job. If you hear of someone talking real estate, connect us. I don't want them to end up with a weak agent at a weak moment. Do you? Brad, just text me their contact card. If you give them my name and phone number, they might be like people we know that might lose that piece of paper, right? They could end up with a weak agent at a weak moment. All right. Weak and needy. Who do you know that's buying or selling? Weak, needy, strong, calm, and assumptive. Well, most of my business comes from referrals from people I care about. You guys sense the difference here. It's just an energy, and like energy attracts like energy. So, guys, I trust that you've gained a thing or two that might help you kind of bolster your production by focusing on the 20%, maybe help you deepen relationships by just how you're going to communicate with people. And if you want the ultimate leverage with your database, with your communication campaigns, I do want you to check out installbuilt.com. We're going to be announcing another free first session. We've got a cohort in the mix right now. They're entering step 3 of the 6 sessions of the Built program, but they're almost halfway through. As soon as we graduate that class here in about 3.5 weeks, we're going to go ahead and announce our next launch date. Now, when you go to installbuilt.com, you can enter your email address and we'll definitely notify you of the next launch date. Let me tell you what happens with Built. We extract all your data. We scrub and clean that data. We organize that data into 6 different categories. We then teach you specifically how to use our tool to segment that data even further, to analyze the data, make sure that we did it correctly. Like, you might open your vendors tab. There's 6 buckets. So you might open that bucket first. You say, oh, that's a vendor you approved. That's a vendor. That's a vendor. Oh, that's not a vendor. That's actually a lead. You just simply click the lead button and it moves that contact and tags them as a lead instead of a vendor. Or maybe you're going through your past clients. Oh, that's not a past client. That's just a lead. You just push them into the lead category and it removes them from cast. It's so fast to get on top of it. Now, we could not have done this a year ago because the technology did not exist. It does today, and we can do that for you so that you show up to session 2 with a fully cleaned and scrubbed and fleshed out database. We upload that into the Built platform, which is a communication platform. It's got all the emails, the text messages, the ringless voicemail drops, all baked into the platform. They're all timely. They're updated every 2 weeks, and there are hundreds to choose from. Okay? I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we were sending emails about the war in Iran. Week before that, we were talking about winter games, just to give you guys a sense of what Built does, and it is powerful. The first session is always free. So just go to installbuilt.com. Go ahead and put in your email address there. We will definitely communicate. We're not going to bother you, but we will let you know when the next launch of the platform occurs. Again, it's not a training program, even though there's a lot of training. It's not a coaching program. There's a lot of coaching. It is an installation system that I want you to plug into. Let us organize your database. The goal of the program, and I want you to hear this loud and clear, obtain the 12-to-2 ratio. That's what we discovered in writing The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. When you communicate with your sphere of influence systematically, for every 12 people in your SOI, you should close 2 transactions per year. So asking an agent to install that system is like asking a fish to climb a tree. I get it. We know exactly how to do it. We've been doing it for decades. Let us do it for you. And it's very cheap compared to anything else you can do. Installbuilt.com. You guys go check it out. I'll go ahead and type it in the chat just real quick, and then I'll let you all get on with your busy days. After I thank you for your time. I mean that sincerely. I do thank you for your time. There are 1,000 things you could be doing right now, and you made a conscious decision to be here. See, first you make the choice, then the choice makes you. The next choice I want you to make is to install what you've learned today. Just take what you've gained, apply it to your business growth strategy. And I put in my cell phone, or I think Dave put in that scheduling link. Dave, could you just post that one more time? There it is. Thank you, Dave. I'll go ahead and copy and paste it. There we go. Click that scheduling link. Let's jump on a quick call. There's no pressure. None of that nonsense. Let's just have a conversation. All right. I just want to help you get what you want out of your real estate career. All right, guys. Hope to talk to you soon. Thank you for being here. We do this every Tuesday. Hope to see you next week. Until then, just be on purpose, be productive, always be powerful. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.